Okay. All right. All right. I'm ready. Is this recording? I don't even know. Okay. 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 All right. I am way too excited for this. Like, way too excited. People ask me all the time, they're like, Keith, what do you like to read? And to that, I always respond with a very simple yes. So if this video seems like it's all over the place and there's no underlying theme, just understand that I know that. And you do not have to tell me that. If you want to, just know that I already know that this is a very random list of books. So in 2025, I'm reading these 10 books that I hope change my life. Because if they don't, I'm going to be pretty upset because I could have spent that time doing literally anything else. But anyways, let's dive straight into this. I'm going to tell you what it is, the title, a little bit about the author, and why it is that I actually started to, well, some of them I've started, or why it is that I've decided that I want to read this book this year. All right, let's jump into it. So the first one is called This Time is Different. Okay, we have Carmen Reinhardt and Kenneth Rogoff. And basically, I read a book called A Random Walk Down Wall Street, which is a classic in the investing and finance world. This isn't all finance, all right, so stick with me. Um, but, anyways, this book I'm hoping will give me some more context on financial markets throughout history. Basically, in A Random Walk Down Wall Street, my favorite story in that book was about the South Sea Company bubble in the United Kingdom or Britain at the time, back in the 1700s, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And that sent me down a whole rabbit hole of like wanting to learn more about financial history and so on and so forth. So this book should actually give me the full scratching of that itch of financial history and exactly what happened, what went wrong, yeah, stuff like that. So that's what this book is all about. That's number 10. Number 9, animal weapons. This book is going to be about, I believe, the evolution of animals and obviously their weapons and the things that they've used to defend themselves and or to kill their prey. But the journey to this book is actually kind of interesting. I read Sapiens earlier this year, um, which is about human evolution. But then I also ended up reading a book called Genome, right here by Matt Ridley. We will do a full review on this book. It is life changing. And this was written in 98. But, anyways, it kind of like opened my mind to a lot of ideas in evolution that I just haven't thought about. And a lot of the topics that we're exploring on this channel in general. One of the stories in here was about this concept of sexual antagonism. And no, it's not even about that. So get your head out of the gutter. Essentially, what that means is our genes, the difference between a male and a female gene of any species, is that their genes will literally kind of fight each other in a way where the evolution of the female could actually be detrimental to the evolution of the male, right? And that is a super terrible non-scientific explanation of what's happening, but that's kind of the general idea. And that just inspired me to learn more about evolution in general, and especially evolution in animals. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, I don't think this is in this book or any of these books, but I saw it somewhere, and it was mind-blowing about how eagles, basically how they peacock, and what eagles will do is they will fly up as high in the sky as they can. And this is a male and a female eagle. They'll fly all the way up in the sky. They will literally lock talons with one another and perform what is called, what we call a death spiral, where they literally just like they stop flapping their wings and they just spiral down, let gravity just take them all the way until they're literally about to hit the ground. And then they'll detach and like fly back up into the air. But that to me is one of the craziest things ever. And it's kind of a test of the trust and the compatibility and the physical fitness of one another in that death spiral dance that we like to call it. I'm like, I thought that I was romantic or something, but like that's a whole nother level of, you know, cool. So, all right, that's number 9. Number 8, Etymologicon by Matt Forsyth. And this, I actually finished this book in all honesty. It's basically all about the roots of a lot of words and sayings in the English language. And Mark Forsyth is pretty much a comedian. So this entire book is really funny, and it just kind of takes you through some of the ridiculousness of language and how it evolves over time. Um, it's fun. It's not like some deep read. It's literally like a few pages at a time is a new chapter and a new concept in the book. And it's really a lot of fun though. And if you find language interesting, then um, I highly recommend this book. But the reason that I read this book is because I read Sapiens, and it described this kind of two types of language. It talked about how there's a partial script, things like a mathematical script, right? When you write in math, that's called a partial script. And then there's a full script, which allows you to more fully express ideas and thoughts. Whereas math, you can't talk about how much you love someone to where you will lock talons with them until the depths of the earth. um, Anyways, I love language. I have been studying many languages since I was young. Um, and so this was a lot of fun for me. And I'm going to continue to go down that path as the year goes on. So, although I don't have a follow up to this book, I will be reading more books about etymology and also linguistics in general. So, that's number, I have no idea what number I'm on, and we just started. So, number 7, The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I know this is an old book and it already had its time. Everybody knows what's in it. Fine. This book is subtitled How Little Things Can Make a Big Difference. And what from I understand is this book is kind of going to be about how basically all it takes is one, right? The power of one to create a movement, to create it talks about epidemics and so on and so forth. So this is kind of funny because I was looking up Malcolm Gladwell because I was thinking to myself, how do I explain who Malcolm Gladwell is? And then as I was doing that, like, so I want to read a ton of these types of books. I don't even know what genre to call this. This is like I call them like thinkers books. And I thought of Nassim Taleb because he's also like an equivalent kind of author where he just makes these books that are about human psychology, but like how to use that to make better decisions with your life, kind of a thing. Don't know what to call that. And then so when I looked up Nassim Taleb and I saw his bio, it said that he was an aphorist. And I was like, what is an aphorist? And so let me read you the definition of an aphorist. An aphorist is someone who creates aphorisms. An aphorism is a concise, pointed, and often witty statement that expresses a general truth or principle. Nassim Taleb is an aphorist. Like, I don't know who comes up with whether or not what you're saying is witty or not, or how you actually achieve the status of professional aphorist, but apparently that's a thing. Anyways, moving on. Book number 6 is going to be Benjamin Franklin, An American Life by Walter Isaacson. Now, I got to this book because I read Titan by Ron Chernow. I don't know if y'all can see that. And that changed my perspective on a lot of things. It really sent me in a new direction of understanding why I enjoy reading about American history. And to be fair, that book is probably one of the hardest books that I've ever read. It's not that it's a hard book to read, but it's 700 pages long and the words are about as small as like a fly. And so um, that was super challenging. And I know that from this point forward, I can read any biography that I so please. And so this one was the first one that came to mind. I wanted to kind of get into the lives of the founding fathers And I'm starting to kind of work my way backwards through the whole history journey instead of going from, I don't mean, you can't really start at the beginning. Um, so yeah, that's what that's what this is about. I'm really excited to read this book. I've heard a lot of great things about this one, although I have also heard that his autobiography is better. So I'm a little bit upset that I'm going to have to read both of them. But at the end of the day, this is life. So that's number 6. Number 5, Capital in the 21st Century. Okay. Now, before you go to sleep, this book I am expecting to teach me a lot more about some of the basics of economics, and not just economics, but like economic theories is what I wanted to kind of get deeper into as I continue to explore, I guess, some of the more intellectual side of finance and financial markets. So, and when I say intellectual, I want to be clear, I mean pseudo intellectual over here. All right, right here. But anyways, that is what this is all about. It's not that deep. It's a book on economics. Number 4. All right. Now we're talking about a little bit of self help. All right. So bear with me. In fact, I don't want to hear it. This is going to be fantastic. It's called Taming Your Gremlin by Rick Carson, a surprisingly simple method for getting out of our own way. So if you watch this channel, you know that I'm pretty big on this whole, self help topic, healing your inner wounds and using them to power you and motivate you forward. So that's what I'm hoping to get out of this book, more about how to tactically do these types of things and just learn more about what it is exactly that's going on inside of me and how I can use that to be a better person for the world. So that's that. Number 3. This is pretty exciting, actually. It's called The Rings of Albion. And this was actually written by my friend who published his first book this year. And from what I know about him, this is going to be an absolutely incredibly deep to the depths of earth level philosophical fiction story. So this is the first fiction book in this list, and honestly, I'm expecting this to be pretty good. I've looked at some of the reviews online. People are reviewing it very highly, and I know my friend, and he's pretty cool. So, yeah. Number 2. All right. I don't want to hear your judgment. Mastering the Market Cycle by Howard Marks. So, honestly, the reason I'm reading this book is because I ordered Principles from Amazon and it just never came. So I was like, okay. I've never ordered anything from Amazon and not gotten it. So that was like a huge mind shifting, life changing experience for me. Anyways, uh, I love Howard Marks. I've listened to a lot of his content and I've read a lot of his actual shareholder letters where he has this really timeless wisdom that is so different from the conventional thoughts of people who talk about markets, and especially as an investor. Um, so I'm super excited about this book. I figure it will be one of those kind of, you know, rites of passage kinds of books in the financial world. And the fact that I haven't read it yet is actually a little bit embarrassing. So, other than that, I don't need to hear any other criticism from you about this pick. And that leads us to number 1, which I have started reading. I'm almost halfway done. It's really fun. It's called Seal of Confession by Michelle Pace. And this book also has a personal story to it, believe it or not. I have been in my neighborhood, I go on walks. And when I go on these walks, I typically bring a book with me. That leads to a lot of conversations about the concept of walking and reading at the same time. And one day, I actually just happened to run into an actual legitimate author who is kind of famous. So we were talking and she told me she was an author and I was like, no way, how have you not told me this? and she actually dropped this book by my house, and it's awesome. It's called Seal of Confession. It's about basically this murder mystery. I don't know how to talk about fiction without like telling the story. Um, and so basically, it's about a priest and these younger kind of guys who are working, and some kind of scandal has happened in the workplace, and it's led to someone almost dying. And that's at the beginning of the book. So uh, it's so much fun. You really have to get this book if you're into mystery types of novels at all. This is a for sure go. And I don't read this kind of stuff. Like, I've just started reading fiction books. So I'm telling you, this is a good read. Other than that, I think that's all 10 of the books. If I missed anything or if I misnumbered them, definitely like correct me and tell me. But if this was enjoyable to you, if you want more videos like this, please subscribe and hit the like button, because obviously my channel is super small. So everything that you're doing not only tells me what I should be doing, but also it tells the algorithm, hey, like, let's get this guy some more views. So I could really use your help with that, or in general, just leave some feedback in the comments. I know this is kind of all over the place, but I had a lot of fun doing this, so I hope you enjoyed it as well. Other than that, stay subscribed. We're talking about a lot of habits and mental awareness, as well as just thinking about psychology and the science of how we can make our lives better. But in that, obviously, I highly endorse reading books, whether they are for fiction or nonfiction. I love it. So I'm also going to be doing a lot of videos about books. See you next time.